If you're tired of scouting Red's team before every fight and just want to bring one team to beat them all, then you're in the right place.
Why are you running?
Up the mountain 2 times.
Especially since the trick choice strat was nerfed, people have been left wondering how to beat Red efficiently. Hey guys, Jinx here, and today I'm going to show you a team that can beat all 5 of Red's teams easily, and I'm going to give you solved paths for every situation, so you could just follow the most efficient path to victory each time. And I'm sure you're going to be shocked at just how cheap the team is to do all this. You might even have some of these ready since they're such common mons with such basic builds. Credit to this team goes to the Chinese community, as I originally found this on Bilibili and then worked through with some people to translate it all for you. I'll link the original video in the description below. First, let's go over the rewards of the Red fight, the requirements to unlock the fight, the team you're going to use, and I'll show you the quickest path up the mountain, and then how to execute the strategy. The first time you fight Red, it'll always be as Gen 1 team. When you complete your first run through Red, you'll earn a base payout of 307,200 Pokeyen and 25,000 battle points, which is about equivalent to 250k. I highly recommend popping a 100% Riches Charm on your first run through, since that'll earn you another 307k, easily covering the cost of the charm. Then you can go into a gym rerun after and make the most of it. But even if you don't use a gym rerun right after, that 300k is more than worth popping the charm for. On all the clears afterwards, you're going to earn 110,400 along with 7,500 battle points. I still use 100% Riches Charm for mine, and then I just go into my gym rerun right after, but even with a coin, you're still going to earn a 55k bonus here, so it's always worth it to pop a coin even if you're not going into an additional rerun. To unlock the Red fight, you need to first unlock Mount Silver, which requires you completing the OT Pokedex. This means you have to catch every Pokemon available by yourself, excluding legendaries. Buying them off the GTL does not count. If you do catch one, you can evolve it into a higher form, as long as it's your OT, or breed it down with a Ditto to keep the OT and check it off your list. Once you have your full dex complete, you can enter Mount Silver, unlocking the Red fight, along with an Alpha Tyranitar encounter and some of the best leveling hordes in the game. Let's take a look at the team you're going to use to beat Red. Let's start with our leading mon, Infernape. You'll just need 31 attack and speed, along with Jolly Nature for this. Train it with 252 attack and speed EVs, and it's set. It'll hold the Choice Scarf and use a moveset of U-Turn, Encore, Close Combat, and you can add Rock Climb to it if you don't have the Ocarina. You'll always start with Infernape first in this strategy. The next Pokemon on our team is Jolteon. This will have 31 special attack and speed, along with Timid Nature. Train it with 252 special attack and speed EVs as well. It needs the Volt Absorb ability, and it's going to hold the Expert Belt. It has the moveset of Yawn, Volt Switch, Hidden Power Ice, and Baton Pass. Remember that you can change your hidden power type by taking 40 ice gems and using them on Jolteon to swap the hidden power from any other type. Also, it says Yawn is an egg move in the movesets, however, it's also listed as a start move, so you don't actually need to pass it on as an egg move. Just use some heart scales if your Jolteon doesn't know it, and you can relearn it at the move relearner. The third member of our team is Gliscor. It'll use 31 attack and speed IVs along with 252 attack and speed EVs. It'll need Adamant Nature, and your defensive IVs don't typically matter, however there is a case where a crit can knock you out if your HP and SpDef are too low. So if they go below 24, you risk a crit knockout. So I recommend building at 24 HP and 24 special defense minimum to remove the crit RNG chance. It's going to have the moveset of Swords Dance, Rock Polish, Acrobatics, and Earthquake, and use the item Flying Gem. Next, we're going to use Bisharp. The only IV it needs is 31 attack. It'll use Adamant Nature, and you can train it with 252 attack and SpDef. You use the moveset Swords Dance, Protect, Sucker Punch, and Low Kick. Make sure to use a PP up on Sucker Punch because you'll need 6 PP. Also, in case you didn't know, you can teach Sucker Punch to Bisharp using the Move Tutor in any of the Unova PCs. It's going to use the Life Orb as its item. Next up, we have Weavile. Personally, I don't think the HP and SpDef is necessary here, however, I'll give the recommendation that was originally provided according to the Bilibili uploader. The cheapest you can go according to this is 31 HP, 31 attack, 19 SpDef, and 31 speed. With this build, you'll need an EV spread of 230 attack, 36 SpDef, and 244 speed. If you build with 28 plus SpDef, you can just skip the SpDef EVs though, and go 252 attack and speed. Personally, I haven't seen any situation where HP or SpDef are necessary, so if you want to test it out with a lower HP and SpDef, let me know in the comments how it works out for you. But if you want to be safe, just go with the original builds. It needs Adamant Nature also, and you're going to be using the item Loaded Dice along with the moveset of Swords Dance, Protect, Icicle Spear, and Brick Break. The final member of our team is Breloom. It'll need its hidden ability Technician, along with 31 attack and speed and adamant nature. You'll train it with 252 attack and speed EVs. Most of the time this is all you need, however there is one instance where it needs to tank a hit from superior while it breaks the substitute. On a normal hit, even a 0 defense Breloom is fine, however if it crits you need 25 HP and 25 SPDF IV to guarantee that you survive the crit. I recommend building it with 25 plus HP and SPDF for that reason. It's going to use the item Black Belt and have the moveset Sword Stance, Protect, Mach Punch, and Brick Break. The general gist of the strategy is we're going to use Infernape to set us up to bring in Jolteon, who's going to basically yawn and then Volt Switch or sack its way out. Then we can go into one of our sweepers who can protect while the yawn activates and puts the opposing Pokemon to sleep, and then we can set up with a Sword Stance and cut our way through red. So that's the team out of the way, let's take a run up the mountain and see how it plays out. I'll show you guys the quickest path up the mountain, so slow the video down and follow along if you need to follow the path. While we go up the mountain, if you appreciate content like this, make sure you like and subscribe for more PokeMMO strategies. Videos like this take a ton of effort, even though it's not originally my strategy. The translation work is no joke. It took tons of hours of translation and working to get these paths solved. Also, all the paths are linked in a document in the description below, so you can check them out there for your own use. I'll show you how the paths work as we go through a couple example fights here. I'll show you an easy path and then I'll show you a couple of the more complex paths. Again, they're all mapped out to be easy to follow, however, sometimes there's a couple of optional things that you need to watch out for during the fight. For example, did something get knocked out, or do you need to sack something else? All of the AI's choices and the responses to them should be documented in that doc, but if you come across any situations that work out weirdly, feel free to shoot me a DM on Discord or comment down below and I'll see how I can address it going forward. So for the first run, I'm going to show you Red's Hoenn team and how we use this team to beat it. The Hoenn team always leads Swampert. Some of Red's teams, he'll have a variable lead, but the Hoenn team is always Swampert first. So if you see Swampert, you're just going to go to the dock and find Swampert at the bottom. It says swap to Jolteon to sack, so we swap out to Jolteon. He's going to use Earthquake on Jolteon. This is one of the ones where I think we might be able to skip this. I feel like you could go straight into Encore. I don't really know the point of sacking Jolteon, but it might be an AI thing. So I haven't done too much testing with this one specifically, but maybe in the future, if I find optimizations, I will update the document in the most optimal ways. So basically, we're going to Encore Swampert into Earthquake so that when Gliscor comes in, he can set up with a Sword Stance to boost his attack, a Rock Polish to boost his speed, and then he can sweep from there. Remember, you can't use items in the red fight, so it's important to use Pokemon like this who have natural abilities to boost their speed, because you can't just use an X speed like you can against the Elite Four. Other than that, you're just going to use whatever move seems best, so whether it's Acrobatics or Earthquake, just make the best choice. If there's some cases where there's neutral, like Acrobatics here for Swampert and Salamence, I have indicated if you should use Acrobatics or Earthquake. In this case, you're going to Acrobatic Swampert, especially with the Flying Gem, that's what's going to knock him out, and then you're just going to watch and use the Acrobatics on Salamence. I didn't indicate to use Acrobatics on Sceptile because, again, it's super effective, so you should be able to make some logical choices based on that. So that's a Hoenn team getting knocked out nice and easy. Let's take a look at another red team. Here we have Red leading with Pikachu. Now Pikachu can be led out in either the Gen 1 or 5 team, so we're going to have to see which team it is. Every single time you see a Pikachu lead, we're gonna close combat with Infernape. From here, it'll knock out Pikachu and we gotta see what he sends out next. This will tell us which path to follow. He sends out Espeon and now we just follow the Espeon path. So if Espeon comes in, we're gonna swap to Bisharp. As Espeon uses Psyshock on us, Bisharp's immune to it, so it won't hurt us. Then we can freely use the Sword Stance, as its best move against us is Power Gem, but that won't do very much damage. Even on a crit, it'll do less than 50% damage. If you're 0 HP, 0 special defense, Bisharp, because we have that 252 special defense EV. This gives us enough HP to sweep through the team with our Life Orb Sucker Punch. Just make sure to remember to use Low Kick on Snorlax, who should come out last. That's it for this lead. It's a pretty basic path here. While we're looking at the paths, I put together 2 different types of path depending on your preference in the document. You can see I either have branched solves, which I consider to be the ones where instead of giving you the full solve each time and copy and pasting it from each section, it just says If Espeon comes in, go to the Espeon solve. If you don't mind scrolling up and down the document mid-fight, this might be better for you since it's a lot neater looking on the document. However, if you want to just look at one spot and follow the paths as shown, you can go to the full solves tab on the Google Doc that I've provided. All I've done for the full solves is copied and pasted all of the full solves so that you don't have to scroll up and down the document. So for example, the part where it says if Espeon comes in, instead of just saying go to the Espeon solve, I just copied and pasted Espeon solve right into there, so it's easier for you to follow if that's your preference. Let's take a look at the Venusaur solve. Venusaur's is pretty straightforward. We're just going to use Encore to sack. We don't really need the Encore actually because we're going to be putting Jolteon in next, and Venusaur would use Earth Power on Jolteon anyway, but we just need a move that doesn't use damage so we don't mess with the AI. So we just use Encore, which will put him on Earth Power and keep Venusaur in as it Earth Powers into Jolteon. This is a damage roll depending on your Jolteon stats, so you might get knocked out, you might not. Either way, it's fine. Basically, you're just going to sack Jolteon if it's still alive, or use Protect on Bisharp, who comes in next, to activate your Yawn. Now Venusaur is asleep, we're just going to Swords Dance as he swaps into Charizard, and from there we can just sweep again with Sucker Punch, and then remembering to use Low Kick on that Snorlax, who again should come in last. I'm not going to bore you guys with going through every possible solve on this path, because you could just check the document and figure it out for yourself. If you have any questions or concerns, or something doesn't make sense, please feel free to reach out and let me know in my Discord, or in the comments below. If you have any suggestions for improved solves or improved readability of the document, please also let me know in the comments or in a Discord message. I have a link to my Discord in the description below. So that's it for the new red team. Hopefully this strategy helps you out in beating red. If it did, make sure you leave it a like and subscribe for more PokeMMO content. We just hit 7,000 subs, which is a huge accomplishment. I really appreciate all of your support. If you want to go above and beyond in your support, you can check out the join button below. Thank you so much to all of our current members. I really appreciate you all. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.